Hi friends, and welcome to my first ever and one of many Astro vlog where I go over the transits of today and take you on a journey of my life and how those transits play out for me specifically as a Libra rising. If you're not familiar with astrology or don't know this about astrology, where the transits are impacting you is based on your rising sign. So the rising sign, also referred to as the ascendant, really lays the foundation of our chart and creates the house system. And when a planet is transiting a certain sign, it is going through a certain house in your chart. And when it is doing so, it is highlighting that area of your life for you. The houses in astrology represent the areas of your life. So when a planet is or an asteroid or anything is transiting that house in that sign for you, that house is ruled by in your chart. So for example, since I'm a Libra rising, my first house is ruled by Libra, and you can apply this to every house in your chart 1 through 12. So second house ruled by Scorpio, third house ruled by Sagittarius, and this is where you can kind of see, okay, if Jupiter is in Sagittarius right now, that means Jupiter is in my third house because my third house is ruled by Sagittarius, so that's where this planet is sitting for me since it's in that sign, and this is kind of the area of life that will be impacting for me. And I have more about all the houses specifically and what they mean and how you can really learn what they mean for your life on my website at understandastrology.me. All the important links will be in the description box of this video, so make sure to check that out if you're wanting to learn more and wanting to dive deeper. I also put together an amazing manual called Learn the Language of Astrology and Human Design that blends together the language and the terminology used in astrology and human design to give you a well-rounded picture and view in a really simple and easy to digest way, so you can understand what I'm talking about when I talk about astrology and human design, and really how you can use the knowledge of the language of these two modalities to apply that to your chart, to understanding your chart and understanding the charts of others. So without further ado, let's get into what's going on today. So I just started my day, and if you have seen my morning routine video, which I will put here, then you know what I usually do in terms of my morning routine and how I like to start my days. Again, not perfect about this. I just do whatever I feel. Today so far I've journaled, I have made myself a chai tea, I've checked the astrology transits, I've hydrated, and I intend to do a little bit more things in line with my morning routine, but this is something I wanted to do first because I feel really passionate about sharing with you all the transits and how they're impacting me and how you can really apply that to your own life. So right now, and learn more about astrology through this as well. So right now I have the chart pulled up for the current time where I am in Hawaii and what's going on right now in the sky. I'll be drinking my tea periodically as well throughout this video. So today we have a T-square in the sky with the moon and Uranus and Taurus. They're right on top of each other. About 1 degree apart, which is really close, called a conjunction when two planets are close to each other. And so right now we have a conjunction in the sky with the moon in Taurus and Uranus in Taurus. We also have those planets squaring Saturn in retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, causing a little bit of friction between these two energies. So a square is a harder aspect. It's a more challenging aspect that really brings friction, and it brings tension in order for things to be released, in order for lessons to be learned, so that growth can occur through the learning of those lessons. We also have this mixture squaring, well, Saturn in Aquarius is opposing Mars and Venus in Leo, which is also squaring this moon and Uranus and Taurus energy. So it really easily, you can think of when a planet will form squares, and the sign that it's in is when they're in the same modality. And I go through this really in depth in the Learn the Language of Astrology and Human Design guide, and I go really in depth into this on my website as well. If you hit the Learn tab, you can learn all about the modalities, the elements, the sign themselves, the houses, the planets. You can learn all about this just through the Learn portion of my website, so check that out if you haven't already. But we can really see really easily how squares can be formed by looking at the modality of the signs that they're in. So when we have a lot of planets or energy in fixed signs, we know that they're going to square each other when they're close to or at the exact same degrees, about 90 degrees apart. So for example, right now, Saturn is at 12 degrees Aquarius and making an exact square 1 degree of orb to Uranus and Taurus, which is at 13 degrees. So when signs are at similar degrees, about 7 to 8 degrees of orb here of difference is allowed, that can kind of lessen the strength of this aspect. But when they're at the exact same degrees, so for example, when Uranus was at 12 degrees and Saturn was at 12 degrees, they're hard aspecting, squaring each other, so it's like an exact aspect. And so this just makes it more prominent, it makes it stronger, and it makes it more so that you will feel the energy and the tension caused by this aspect. So what we have right now in the sky is a T-square because of all these squares going on within the fixed signs, which are the fixed signs are Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. And right now we have a lot of energy in Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. So these are all squaring each other, forming a T-square, kind of like a triangle in the chart. And when a T-square is formed, it causes a lot of tension. Like I've mentioned, it creates a lot of just friction, things to rub up against each other and not always feel like things are going smoothly or flowing smoothly. And so that is how today will feel. And I will be taking you on a journey of how that's impacting me. With T-squares, we look at the planets that are opposing each other, which right now are Saturn in Aquarius and Mars and Venus in Leo are opposing each other, complete opposites. And then we have Taurus at the top. So Taurus would be the apex planet of this kind of shape that's being formed. And the apex planet of the T-square itself. So what that means is that Taurus is the main focal point of this T-square, and how we can release the energy of this T-square is through the opposite sign of Taurus, since we have currently no planets in the opposite sign of Taurus, which is Scorpio, or Taurus's sister sign, which is Scorpio. So that is the release of this friction and this tension of today, is through feeling and through allowing ourselves to go deeply into the depths of things in order to really rebirth and to let things die and to let go of things. Scorpio represents a transition of the season from fall into winter and really holds down fall so that we can really learn the lessons of fall, which is things dying off and things getting ready to be winterized and to be cold. So Scorpio is all about going deep into the feelings of things, really trusting our intuition, trusting our inner knowing, trusting the way that we feel about things and how that in turn creates what we experience. So that is the theme of today, is really allowing ourselves to feel, to go deeply and release whatever needs to be let go of so that we can really move forward into this next phase of our lives with more ease and more grace and more joy. For me, the Scorpio energy, it will be the release of this T-square, is happening in my second house, which is really calling for, the second house rules finances, self-worth, and material possessions. So it's really calling for me specifically to release any old beliefs and ties that I have to money and finances, and really allow myself to release control and surrender to what is, and allow the feelings that are coming up around this to be felt so that I can really look at them and really release them so that they don't keep showing up again and again and again. This is how cycles and patterns repeat themselves, and how we stay stagnant and stuck in our cycles and patterns is by not looking at the feelings associated with these things. In order to be able to release them, we have to look at the feelings. My camera battery died, so on the iPhone now. This is also a great day to take action because there is a fire trine in the sky. And what a grand trine is when there are 3 planets. So same with a square. It's when there are 3 planets instead of modality, like with a square, it's in the element. So when there's 3 planets in the same all of the same element. Mercury is squaring Neptune today, so my communication and my thinking is a little spacey. Yeah, because Mercury is in Gemini, which is a mutable sign, and Neptune is in Pisces, which is a mutable sign. So mutable signs and different... Oh, this is interesting to explain. Gemini and Pisces are both mutable, so when there's a planet in both, they're squaring each other at the same degrees. So Neptune is at 23 degrees Pisces, Mercury is at 21 degrees Gemini right now, and so they're squaring each other. So apologies, my communication is a little spacey and a little all over the place. That being said, awareness is key and brings consciousness to what's going on. We also have the sun squaring Chiron right now, and Chiron is at 12 degrees of Aries and the sun is at 13 degrees Cancer. So there's a lot of squares in the sky right now, bringing a lot of friction and opposition, not opposition, a lot of friction and tension to a lot of things. So this grand fire trine that I was speaking of and got off on a tangent about is really kind of like a harmonious, like the most harmonious aspect and transit going on right now today, specifically because we have this grand fire trine includes Chiron in Aries at 12 degrees. It includes the South Node in Sagittarius at 10 degrees, and it includes Mars and Venus being in Leo, Venus being at 9 degrees Leo and Mars being at 14 degrees Leo. They will conjunct each other in about a week, which is going to bring a whole different set of energy to our day to day. But for right now, this grand fire trine is really creating a harmonious energy around taking action towards this friction and this tension that we're feeling. This trine wants us to take action and initiate, lead with fire, lead with passion, lead with boldness, lead with confidence, and really initiate the changes that are being brought to the surface right now for us to look at, and that are causing a little bit of friction and tension within our space and within maybe even our mental capacity, since we have Mercury squaring Neptune here and really calling for us to change the way that we're thinking about things, change our perception of things, and make innovations to the ways that we're going about our lives, because we can't move forward into the future, into what we're creating, by living in the past and living from things that haven't served us, that we've just become accustomed to and that are just normal and just our habits at this point. We really have to look at these things in order to release them and let go of them. Again, this T-square release through Scorpio energy, and really release these things that don't serve us anymore, so that we can really take action towards the new and step into the new with confidence, with bravery, with courage, and with in a way that's really going to lead us to our greater version of ourselves and success within that as well. And with this fire trine too, it's really teaching us, like, take action towards things. Like, don't procrastinate, don't put things off. Like, I've been putting off the dishes for like a day and was just like, you know what, why am I putting this off? Like, I'm just gonna do it and get it done. And it was over in 2 minutes. And that's kind of like the theme of today, is like, don't prolong things, don't procrastinate things. This energy is happening right now as it is for a reason, for us to take action towards it. Don't procrastinate and don't miss this opportunity that these transits are bringing to you. And even if you're watching this at a later date than I'm filming it, you still have a potential to take action towards the things that you are desiring to take action towards, and it's going to lead you somewhere amazing. So just know that procrastination only prolongs your success. It only prolongs the inevitable. It only prolongs your belief in yourself and your ability to have confidence in what you're doing, because confidence is like a muscle. It needs to be built. It needs to have resistance in order for it to grow. So when you do more things that just take action towards things without procrastinating them or prolonging them, you not only build confidence with yourself, but you build trust with yourself too, and really like knowing that you can trust what you say you're going to do and that you're going to do it. And that's what this day has to teach us, is really we need to let go of the past. We need to let go of old ways of being, so that we can really step into new ways of being with confidence, with courage, with bravery, with boldness, with passion, and really align with what we're here to align with, and not prolong or procrastinate the process anymore, because it's holding us back and it's keeping us from what is our potential and what really wants us to awaken to it. The sign of Scorpio also represents our ability to be able to transform and transmute our feelings and emotions. And so the more that you can do that whenever there's this type of T-square or energy in the sky, or even if you have a lot of Scorpio energy within your chart, it's really important for you to harness this ability to be able to transform and transmute what you're going through and not get stuck in the depths of it. The lesson with Scorpio energy is to allow ourselves to go to the depths so that we can rise above like the phoenix and be reborn into the new version of ourselves that we desire to be instead of what we have been conditioned to become. So, like I was saying, a lot of the work that I've been doing today and recently, this past week, to be honest, this has kind of been an ongoing theme for me the past 3 years. The events that have happened this week, and specifically like this weekend, and the days that I'm filming this have created a lot of tension for me in terms of my finances, and have created a lot of opportunity for me to really rise up in order to look at my beliefs and how those are impacting my finances, and how my beliefs and my perception of money and my finances are impacting what's created in those areas of my life. So a lot of the work that I've been doing and journaling on this weekend and today specifically is around my money and around the beliefs that I have around money, and around feeling scared of not having, feeling scared that more won't come, feeling scared that the recent events that have taken place in my life have caused me to live in a way in which I will have to be homeless or have to be poor. And I've been homeless before, and it's not something I would ever want to put myself in a position of again. And so I get really fearful when things start to look a certain way in terms of my bank account, that's going to happen again. And so it's caused a lot of me having to look at and face these things and the feelings related to these things, and really create new beliefs for myself that in turn create new realities for myself, so that I can really step into what I've been calling in my life for so long, which is financial overflow and being supported financially, and just knowing and being able to trust that the money is coming in no matter what. And this has been a really big focus of me for the last couple years. And like I said, going through being unhomed and living out of my car, and just all of the events that have happened in the ways that they had in my life that have brought me to this current place that I'm in, and really being able to look at these things to shift them so that I can really change my life and change the reality that I'm creating based off what I'm believing I get to have and get to create. So a lot of the work I've been doing journaling wise today is from Byron Katie. I have to give her credit for her beautiful work. I ask myself, so I look at a belief, and one of the beliefs that I wrote down today was that I will never be able to make enough money to live the life that I want. And so you ask yourself, you really have to be honest with yourself about the beliefs that you have and write those down. And then you ask yourself, can I be absolutely certain that this is ultimately true? That there's no other possible scenario or truth other than this belief? And in my experience, the answer has always been no, that is completely not true. There are so many other realities and beliefs that I could choose to take on and choose to view from, choose to have the perspective of in order to view from than what I'm currently believing and what's currently alive and real for me. So I ask myself, is it absolutely certain? Is it ultimately true? No. And then I ask myself, how do I feel and who do I become when I believe this thought that I have? And I've written out a lot of things. You can go really deep with this. You can take this a lot of ways. Like, who does this belief really cause you to be? And is that really serving you and your highest good? Next question I ask myself is, who would I be without this thought? I would be free. If I didn't believe that scarcity was a thing, I would be so free, and I would just be so creative, and I would be so surrendered to what is, and I would be so trusting of everything and everyone in my life, and just knowing that whatever I want, I get to have, and that it's going to work out. Even if I don't see the how it's going to right now, it always will. So who would you be without this thought or belief? And then you turn the thought around, you change the thought, and you believe a new one, and one that serves you. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. So to give you an example, how I changed this thought and belief was that I wrote, so much money came to my bank account so quickly and unexpectedly, and I felt so supported and taken care of. And I'm so happy and grateful that this is my new normal, and this is how things get to be from here on out, and I never have to settle for less than this. So really changing the belief to be something that's empowering and something that makes you feel good and makes you feel like yes, and helps you really embody those feelings that you want to feel, instead of what you're succumbing to based on your beliefs that are probably just passed on to you from other people and aren't really yours in the first place. So this is a great exercise and practice I use in my journaling practice sometimes when I feel like there's something that's really reoccurring for me, that's really strong, like a belief that I'm having a tough time shaking off and really shifting and changing. This is something I do to go deeper into it and to really shift it at a subconscious level. And then I just repeat, as you have seen, probably if you've seen my morning routine video, I use sticky notes and put affirmations on sticky notes everywhere, and I read them as much as I possibly can. Whenever I pass them, I make it a point to like read the affirmation and really feel it in my body to affirm it to myself. And so that is what I do with when I change these beliefs as well. I really like reaffirm it to myself, and I also write down every day when I wake up, I write down affirmations as well to reaffirm to myself that this is the truth. This is how I get to feel. This is what I get to create, not what I have been conditioned to. I got so excited to film today and share with you all the transits of today that I forgot to meditate. So I just had a realization that I'm forgetting to film a lot of my day. So I made this smoothie just now. Whenever the moon is in Taurus, we feel called to create more time around self-care, around nurturing ourselves, feeding ourselves, and being more focused on sensuality and how we can really like nurture that part of ourselves that just wants to feel and is very human and loves human things like good taste, good smells. I just thought my lips were like smoothie green. Having smoothie lips, just really enjoying the simple pleasures of life. That's what Taurus is all about. And when the moon is in Taurus, it really calls for us to do that, especially if you're an emotional and human design. Then there were colors and the lights came on, which I talk more about in my weekly newsletter called The Cosmic Path, and you can sign up through my website. Link in the description below, of course. Oh, and what I put in here, a handful of dino kale, 2 apple bananas, which are like small, locally grown bananas here in Hawaii. I actually got them from my neighbor down the street who has a fruit stand outside their house. I put milkadamia in here. I put some filtered water from my Berkey. I put frozen cherries and my favorite protein powder ever, that is called Shakeology, and literally the best protein powder in the world. It's a cafe latte flavor, so it kind of tastes like a latte or like coffee-y. I put a scoop of that in here, a heaping scoop, because it is my obsession and I live off that protein powder. You can also find a link to buy that in the description box below. I almost feel like the weather rewards me when I do the work on myself, because it has been rainy the past couple days here in Hawaii, and today when I really like journaled and the exercise and practice that I walked you guys through, that I did this morning. The sun came out, it's beautiful, and I just feel like so much more ready and excited to venture out and get into nature. So I'm gonna take you with me. Place is so blessed and sacred, and I feel so grateful that I get to enjoy it. Whee! And bask in this beauty. My Sag moon is so happy, and my Taurus sun. All parts of me are happy at this very moment. Sunlight now. Oh god. Direct sunlight. What a trip life is. It is truly amazing. Yeah. Bye space. Thank you. Your nourishment and healing. Don't let me forget. Back through the tunnel. It's still blurry. Well, we're just rolling with it at this point. Out the tunnel leg. I am not the same person that I was when I entered that tunnel. That was incredibly healing and just what I needed today. I got so many downloads. on blog posts I want to create and just things that I need to do and people that I've been wanting to reach out to and reconnect with. And yeah, and just I got so many confirmations about what I meant to do this week and what I meant to focus on, and it felt really good, and I just feel lighter and healed. And every time I come to this place, it is like the biggest blessing on my life. So I'm so immensely and eternally grateful to live so close to this and be able to appreciate it as much as I am able to. And thank you for being a part of this journey too. More to come, as always, so stay tuned. This view and this fresh guava. Be a little riper. Still really good. Nothing beats right off the tree. This beautiful passion flower just popped out at me when I was driving. This is one of my favorite fruits. In Hawaii, we call them lilikoi. I'm just so filled with immense gratitude for this place and all the life it offers. We are so blessed here on this planet, and it's time we remember. It's time we remember that.